Hello and welcome to a quick demonstration of the enosix connector for MuleSoft and SAP integration. In this demonstration, we're going to introduce the enosix SAP connector for MuleSoft, provide a real-time demonstration of real-time order capabilities, and demonstrate what this means for the user in an example front-end application like Salesforce. And lastly, provide information on how to demonstrate and trial this capability for yourself. Let's get started. The enosix SAP connector for MuleSoft is powered by a library of pre-built process integration APIs installed directly in SAP. This is the enosix SAP communication framework, and it provides a complete alternative to the traditional ways you would connect to SAP. No longer are we limited by the NetWeaver gateway and the functionality of SAP's publicly available APIs. enosix is going to provide us real-time capabilities to do things in any front-end application like real-time order simulation, pricing, availability to promise, and order creation. These are just a small sampling of all of the real-time capabilities you get with the enosix communication framework and connector from MuleSoft. The enosix SAP connector is available on the Anypoint Exchange. And once downloaded, you'll have access to the enosix suite of pre-built APIs. Looking at the APIs, and for today's demo, we're going to focus on the order template. This is going to provide us the real-time capability to create and simulate orders directly from SAP. Those simulations are going to give us real-time calculations like pricing and availability to promise. So let's get started. In the Anypoint Studio, I have my order system API that we just showed from the Anypoint Exchange. I've downloaded it and brought it into my Anypoint Studio. Now I'm going to run this as a Mule application. Once the application's loaded, let's go ahead and open up the console. Now that we're in the API console, enosix provides several real-time capabilities against SAP orders. In this example, let's focus on Order Simulate and look at the Order Simulate API. enosix provides documentation on all of the APIs as well as code snippets depending on what you want to occur in your call. Now let's provide a quick example of the functionality. I'm going to first clear out the example text and paste in a very simple order simulation request where our sold to party 100-231, and I'm going to specify our sales doc, organization, distribution channel, and division. And we're going to simulate against two items, our Blaze with a quantity of 3 and Alta with a quantity of 1. I'll send this over to SAP, and in real time, using the enosix framework, we have the full results of the order simulation immediately available. And the advantage of this is this data can be shown in a browser window, in a UX component of whatever front-end application we're working in, and we can do this all without data replication. And that's the power of enosix, where we're doing real-time complex asks in SAP and being able to work with that in whatever front-end application we're using without data replication. So let's look at those line items lower on the page. And you can see we have a ton of data coming back from SAP. So from a order simulation perspective, let's look at our items. And the first item we'll find is the Blaze product. So right here we have our item number. We have our Blaze material that we ran the simulation against. We have the simulation quantity at 3. The real-time pricing from the full SAP pricing procedure is provided at 549, as well as an availability to promise date of today for a quantity of 3. So in real time, we're able to simulate our order, and within that simulation, get the full pricing procedure from SAP, get the full availability to promise date from SAP. And now let's look at the Alta material. So we have our material Alta. We had a quantity of 1. The material is 129, and availability date is today as well. Just a quick example of order simulation, but now let's move over to order creation and show this example and actually the order being created in SAP. So now from the API console, let's go to our order create API, which is very similar to order simulate. Let's clear out the example code that it provides us, and we're going to paste in the exact code that we used for our order simulate, where we're purchasing 3 of the Blaze material and 1 of the Alta. I'm going to go ahead and send this to SAP, and now we have even more information coming back because we actually created the order as opposed to simulated it. So we've got a bunch of information that we can use, and depending on what you want to do in your front-end application, you can model this data and show as much or as little as you'd like. We've got our confirmation of the line items that were added, but I'm going to speed up and focus on our order number. So let's get our order number 17148, and let's jump over to SAP and display this sales order and just demonstrate that yes, from MuleSoft, utilizing the real-time enosix connector, we have our Blaze and Alta on our order, and everything has gone through successfully. We first simulated this, and then we showed real-time order creation from enosix and the MuleSoft connector to SAP. Now let's show an example of what this looks like in a front-end application like Salesforce. In this demonstration, we're going to show that same order creation, but we're going to do it natively from the Salesforce UI. From the Salesforce UI, I'm on an account record page for Ohana, which is our customer 100-231 in SAP, the customer we just did the order creation through. And now what I want to show is what that real-time capability means in a front-end application. So if I'm a user and I want to create that order, enosix makes that really easy from an integration perspective. Utilizing the MuleSoft connector, we can now work with this virtual data where all of my options in terms of order creation from SAP are available to me. And these options are being brought into my browser, much like we saw the results during simulation, where I don't need to replicate or build any of this in my front-end application. Whatever I need from SAP, I can render in real time from my browser, and I can also do real-time simulation where I'm not able to proceed if I don't have a purchase order, and I also require line items on my order. So let's go ahead and add those. We're going to first add our Blaze material, and we're going to add that at a quantity of 3. And now we're going to add our second Alta material at a quantity of 1. And going back to our header, and you can see enosix is also providing the real-time pricing capability and real-time availability to promise capability. So from our order creation screen, let's add in a purchase order, which is a second validation we needed to address. And now we can do another simulation. Simulation's gone through successfully. Let's go ahead and create that order. This order is 17149. And again, we can take a quick look at that in SAP. Let me go back. Display order, and that was order 149. Opening that up. And again, now from Salesforce or any front-end application, we could take advantage of those real-time capabilities enosix is providing, again, from our communication framework into MuleSoft via the MuleSoft connector out to any application. If you'd like to learn more, you can request trial access for yourself and demonstrate some of these capabilities directly in your own MuleSoft environment. The website is docs.enosix.io/MuleSoft. And within that page, you'll see a link to the trial form. Simply fill that out. You'll be emailed instructions on how to take advantage of a similar demonstration within your own environment and take advantage of these real-time integration capabilities with SAP. Thank you and have a great day.